Yesterday was a very historic day in the history of India's electoral democracy. The reason why I call the day historic is because the CIC, which is the Central Information Commission, it came out with an order stating that political parties are public authorities and they are entitled to answer public queries which are sent to them via the right to information. First of all, we need to understand what is the right to information. The Right to Information Act is a one-of-a-kind, path-breaking law which was passed by the Indian Parliament, empowering Indian citizens to unilaterally take on the menace of corruption and red tapeism. What this act does is that basically it gives citizens of India the power to send queries to public authorities and ask them relevant questions. For example, I have applied for getting a passport, and the sanctioning of my passport is getting delayed. I can file an RTI to the concerned authorities, and they are bound to reply and give me the reason as to why is my passport not being sanctioned and why is the entire process being delayed. Now, by means of this legislation, a very different kind of activism has emerged in India over the past 4 or 5 years. Using this highly powerful law, citizens have tried to bring in much needed probity in the public sphere, and many scams have been brought to light due to the enormous power of the RTI. In the past, the government has made certain attempts of diluting the Right to Information Act, but till now, the Right to Information Act has remained as it was initially. So yesterday, when this particular order came out, and as it was expected, the 6 national parties who are usually divided on every issue, and they can never bring about a consensus on issues which endanger the state like corruption and terrorism. The parties which cannot develop a consensus on such issues, they came together and said that we condemn this order. We believe that this order is not the right order. And what is the reasoning which they were giving? The reasoning which they were giving is that, see, we are political parties, we are run privately, and we are private properties of citizens of India and not government bodies. And because we are not government bodies, we are not entitled to answer RTI queries. I would like to make a couple of points over here in order to demolish this fake argument which is being put forth by the 6 national parties: the Congress, the BJP, the CPM, the CPI, the NCP and the BSP. We need to understand what is the structure of Indian democracy. India is basically a parliamentary democracy with a federal structure where there is, unambiguous division of powers between the center and the state. Now, politics in India is party oriented. Most of the people who get elected to the Union Parliament or to the various state legislatures, they belong to different political parties. We hardly have any independent candidates. So these, candidates, they get tickets from political parties. They fight in elections on the basis of that ticket, and then they go to represent their party inside Parliament. When they represent, when they go and sit inside Parliament, their first priority is their party and not the people of their constituency. And therefore we have seen this concept of a whip emerged in parliamentary democracy, where a party issues a whip to all its members and they're all supposed to vote in one direction. a particular project might be very harmful for my constituency, but just because my party has issued a whip stating that all of us are to vote for it, we will vote for it. So first of all, we need to clearly understand that political parties form governments. Right now, the central government is being run by Congress-led United Progressive Alliance. Members of the Congress party are holding government offices. It is not that when they assume government offices, they cease to be Congress members. They continue to be members of their party, be it the Congress, the BSP or the BJP. And the fact is that they come out in open and they usually take their party line. They do not speak their minds out. Be it Mr. Modi, be it Mr. Chidambaram, or be it any political leader in India, when that leader speaks to the public through the media, he will always toe his party line. So parties are effectively controlling governments. Now, in such sort of a situation where there is this nexus between parties and governments, there is hardly any difference between the two. And because of this situation, it becomes imperative that the citizens have the right to query political parties. The Congress party has formed the government at the center. The BJP has formed the government in various states like Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat. I should have the power to ask them questions, because at the end of the day, decisions regarding government functioning, they are being taken at the headquarters of political parties. Secondly, at times when political parties are in office, they make use of the state exchequer in order to progress their political agenda. What is the Bharat Nirman all about? This whole, marketing blitzkrieg done by the UPA. It is being done by the UPA to benefit the Congress party's image by using the government's money. They are trying to build about a favorable image regarding the Congress party. What has Narendra Modi been doing? His PR machinery has used the government's money in order to build his larger than life image and benefit the BJP. So I should have the power to ask these people, where is your money coming from? And how are you utilizing this money? Government money is being utilized by political parties to benefit themselves. Why should the people of India not have the power to ask them from, on what basis can you make use of this money? The money which is the taxpayers' money, which has to be used for the benefit of the taxpayer, that money today is being used by political parties to benefit their image. Thirdly, the whole system of electoral funding in India, it is mired in deep controversy. The money which is used in electoral politics today, it is nothing but black money. On paper, the Congress party has a turnover of more than 1,000 crores. The BJP has a turnover of more than 900 crores. Whenever a person, he stands for elections for a Lok Sabha seat or an assembly seat, he puts in crores of rupees while campaigning. In one day he addresses massive rallies. These political leaders, they travel from one city to another via helicopters. When they travel with them, 20-25 cars travel. They even hire private security guards like Mayawati has. It is said that Mayawati's security is of the same level as that of the Israeli president. When political leaders, these political parties, they have their conventions. So the BJP is going to go to Surajkund, it is going to go to Goa, the Congress is going to go to Jaipur, and they, erect these huge pandals over there, and they stay in 5-star hotels. Now, we as citizens of India have the authority to ask them, from where have you got this money? Who paid for your helicopters? Who paid for that 5-star meeting for that meeting which took place in Hotel Taj? Who paid for the yatras which you people take out all across India? So these are questions which need to be asked, and the political class today, it is trying its best to hoodwink the people of India. See, when it comes to corruption, everybody is a partner. It's not as if the Congress party is only indulging in corruption. The Congress party is indulging in corruption at the central level, at the state level. The BSP indulged in corruption. We had the National Rural Health Mission scam. The SP has been involved in corruption. The BJP has been involved in corruption. DMK has been involved. AIADMK has been involved. CBM has been involved. TMC has been involved. Nobody over here is guilt free. And when you look at the biggest scams of India, these scams are all bipartisan scams. Look at what is happening, in regards to the IPL, this whole BCCI. Cricket is the biggest business in India, one of the biggest businesses in India, and everybody is involved in it. So you have Farooq Abdullah, you have Narendra Modi, you have Arun Jaitley, you have Rajiv Shukla. All of them are together in that. So at the end of the day, the political class, I don't want to generalize, but the political class, it ranks low on credibility. And by coming out in the open, by taking such a negative stand, in the sense that by opposing the this welcome decision of the CIC, the political class is only exposing themselves. Rahul Gandhi, last night Arnab Goswami made a very good point. He said that Rahul Gandhi was anointed as the vice president of the Congress party during their Chintan Shivir in Jaipur. He said that the RTI, it's a landmark legislation which has given every citizen the power to take on corruption directly. But Mr. Arnab Goswami added, but today the Congress stand against this particular order of the CIC. If we take this particular stand of the Congress party, then Rahul Gandhi's statement would be something like this: the RTI is an extremely strong legislation which has empowered every citizen of India to take on corruption single-handedly, as long as he does not ask us questions. So I think today, the Indian bureaucrats, they have a very big responsibility. The Comptroller and Auditor General, Mr. Vinod Rai, even though I do not agree with many of his findings, he has revolutionized how the Comptroller and Auditor General's office will be approached on from now onwards. The Chief Election Commissioner should now do the same, and the CIC should do the same. Well, as far as the Election Commission is concerned, we also had one very dynamic election commissioner by the name of T.N. Session. He revolutionized the CEC. As I mentioned earlier, Vinod Rai has revolutionized the Comptroller and Auditor General. So the bureaucrats, they need to take the charge now, and they need to ensure that if their bosses are indulging in some kind of financial impropriety, then it is their responsibility to expose them, and they should not shy away from carrying out their duty honestly. And it is my conviction that this particular order of the Central Information Commission, it will serve as a landmark order, and it will help in bringing about greater transparency and in strengthening the very root of Indian democracy.